Welcome back to Question and Answer with Animal Care. My name is Amber and I'm the lead natural science educator here at the Cook Museum of Natural Science. And today we have something really special. Cassie Elias, our live animal manager, invited us to go for a dive. So I'm ready to go. Let's do it. Hi, Cassie.
Hi, Amber.
Hi.
Welcome back to the Oceans Tank.
Thank you. I'm ready for the dive.
You're not going to be diving, Amber. But we're going to be talking about the dive today. And after all of the feeding that Kelly did, we really need a good clean on this tank.
Awesome. Okay, cool. Well, you want to go sit down and talk about cleaning the tank? Take this mask off. Whew. All right, let's go. So how long does it take to clean this tank?
So we dive it about once to twice a week, and it's for about 2 hours. And it depends on the type of tasks that we're going to be doing in the tank and how long it's going to take.
What kind of tasks do you guys do to help make sure the tank is super clean?
So a tank this size takes a lot of work. So we do things like gravel washing, wiping the acrylic, feeding the horseshoe crabs, but most of the time is spent scrubbing the corals.
That's a lot of work for 2 hours.
It is. That's why we put 2 to 3 divers into the tank at a time to take the most of that time to get the most tasks done. It's also pretty intensive to prepare for, so using that time wisely.
Okay, what kind of preparations do you guys have to do in order to get ready for a dive like this?
We make sure that all of our gear is working properly and functional and safe for the divers to use. Then we have to get all of our tools ready that we're going to be using for whatever tasks we're doing that day. And then they're going to get their weight belts ready, and then they'll be ready to dive. We do make sure that with all of this equipment that it only is used in this tank and isn't used anywhere else to prevent contamination, and also is sanitized to make sure that it's clean for the divers to use.
Gotcha. So I guess you can't jump in there with snorkeling gear.
No, we make sure that all of the stuff is used only in the tank.
That makes total sense. And you guys do an awesome job making sure everything is perfectly clean in there. So you mentioned earlier about feeding the horseshoe crabs.
Yeah.
And I thought that was really cool because we talked to Kelly Geck. She did 2 other feed videos. Why are we feeding the horseshoe crabs now during the dive and not in the other feeds?
That's a great question. As you've seen in some of those feeds, the fish eat that food pretty quickly as it's falling through the water column. So to get enough food to the bottom for the horseshoe crabs to eat, we'd have to really overfeed the fish. So instead of doing that, we individually feed each horseshoe crab to make sure that they're getting the right amount of food instead of overfeeding the fish.
That's excellent. And then you also mentioned about scrubbing and also about algae. So why don't some of the fish in here that also consume algae, why aren't they eating the algae in the tank instead of scrubbing it away?
Yeah, so the fish, there are some that eat algae, but we're gonna give them that nutrient-rich nori instead of eating the algae in here. The algae in here is more of a nuisance where it's taking nutrients from the water and nutrients that could be going to the fish along with oxygen out of the water. So it's a nuisance and it takes away from the really vibrant colors that are going on in the tank.
Yeah, it's beautiful in there for sure. So when you're scrubbing the algae, where does it go after you scrub it?
Our filtration system does a pretty good job. So it's going to go one of 2 places, either into that filtration system where it's removed from the actual main tank, or it's going to fall to the bottom. And that's when we gravel wash it. And gravel washing is really important for a tank this size because when those things fall to the bottom, this gravel washer will have a siphon on the top, and it pulls up the gravel and it pulls the lighter particles up, and the gravel will get mixed all around. Those lighter particles will get pulled from the tank, and then the gravel will fall back out.
Nice. Make sure it's super clean that way, huh?
Exactly.
After the tank is clean, what happens next?
Well, the divers will get out of the water and make sure that they have all of the things that they brought in there with them. That way nothing gets left behind by accident. And then we'll rinse or sanitize the gear, whatever that specific piece of equipment needs, and rinse and sanitize ourselves. That way we're not bringing anything from this tank to another tank that we could be taking care of later.
Gotcha. Kelly Geck mentioned in one of her other videos when we were hanging out at the ocean tank that the filtration system takes 340 gallons per minute, like the filter. How long does that take?
So it takes about 2 hours to completely clear the tank after a dive, depending on what tasks we did that day. Sometimes it's a little bit dirtier and sometimes it's not quite as dirty. The filtration system does a really good job of that, but once we're done with a dive, that's gonna have to be cleaned too.
Oh gosh. Well, thank you, Cassie, for letting us join you and your animal care staff while you guys were doing a cleaning dive here in the ocean tank.
You're welcome. Thank you for joining us.
Yeah, well, we're gonna leave you guys to it. All right, here we go. Bye, Cassie.
Bye, Amber.
All right, come on, you guys. All right, you guys. So I may not have had a chance to jump into the ocean tank today, but there's a good reason why. Cassie Elias and our animal care staff here at the Cook Museum, they make sure that our ocean tank is super, super clean. And for all of the health and happiness of all of our fish, which is super important, make sure it's first priority. They gravel wash all the gravel inside of the tank to make sure that there's no algae sitting at the bottom of the tank. And they scrub the artificial coral. They also feed the horseshoe crabs in there too when they're diving, just to make sure the horseshoe crabs get well fed. So they do an awesome job making sure that these animals are healthy and happy. Well, we hope to see you guys for the next question and answer with animal care. See you next time. Bye.